All right, we're live. Whoop, whoop.
Hello to everyone.
What's going on, everybody? Hope y'all having a wonderful, wonderful Sunday evening. And we always, our lives on Sundays are typically always at 7 p.m. for those that were asking. And that's Central Standard Time.
And we try to, even if we join the live,
Yeah,
we try to make it come actually live at 7 o'clock.
That's
so
right.
there is no.
yeah. When I set up, what I do is I go in and I have to set up the live. And when I do, YouTube automatically
Had you
puts
scheduled
it.
for 7:44 is what
Yeah,
YouTube said.
I can't control that. When I go in there and start messing around and trying to get the live ready, YouTube automatically publishes that we're going live. There's no thing hidden. Facebook hides it. You can't see it on Facebook until we actually go live. But for some reason, YouTube, when I get into live studio, it lets everybody know we're going live. But
Just know that we wait until 7 o'clock
That's
Central
right.
Standard Time.
that is right.
We've been sitting here, but we felt like it was.
Well, we've been trying to get everything ready.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I hope you guys are having an awesome Sunday. Another thing that I do want to mention is for some reason, we've gone over it before several times, but we got reported this time that we didn't have our closed captions on our last live. We have zero control over closed captions. Zero. They're automatically on, and depending on how long a video is it takes YouTube. Could take them 1 hour, it could take them 24 hours to interpret what we're saying and process it and then put it up as closed captions. So closed captions has nothing to do with us. They're on automatically. So when closed captions are ready, they will be available to you on YouTube. So anyways, I wanted to get that out of the way. For some reason that comes up quite often, but I'm sure we'll go over that again too, a couple of months from now.
It probably takes those YouTube robots a whole long time to interpret what we are saying.
Yeah, our southern slang. I'm sure.
That delays it maybe a little
I'm
bit.
sure it delays it. But anyways, yeah. So that's what it is on closed captions. It takes a while for YouTube to process what we're saying and get it put up.
It's nothing on our end.
Nothing on our end. Yep. They're automatically on. So, we've been busy. Today was one of those days where we wanted to do something, or we had something planned that we had to do, wanted to do, and something that seemed like that was not going to take that long. But in the back of my mind, I knew it was going to take longer than I thought, but I didn't know it was going to take us all day.
Yeah, it was a doozy, and what made it extra doozy to me is it was kind of cold out today.
It was really cold, but the sun didn't come out. When the sun don't come out, it makes it just.
The sun came out right when we were wrapping things up. So I mean, I guess I had a toboggan on. Y'all, toboggan's not a sled. In Alabama, a toboggan is a hat. I should have brought one with me that keeps your head warm. And I had a toboggan on. I had a big zip up. Somebody told me in the last video I look like the Michelin Man. So I had my big Michelin Man jacket on, gloves, this shirt with t-shirt over it, and I was freezing. I was cold. So I started shoveling manure to try to get warmed up. And it worked.
It did work.
Next thing I knew is I had a whole tractor bucket full of manure because where we were working was in Moody's pasture.
Yeah.
And I felt better after that. I felt a whole lot better.
Then what was happening to me was I was doing a lot of moving around, so then I'd get warm.
Yeah.
And then take my jacket off and just stop for like a couple of minutes, and then all of a sudden you just start freezing again.
Yeah, I'd look over at you and you'd have your t-shirt on, and I'm thinking to myself, what is wrong with him?
It was
even though I was working, I still wasn't cold enough to just wear my t-shirt, warm enough to just wear my t-shirt.
Right.
I was cold, but I stuck it out till the end, and it was worth it. So, hint, hint. Watch the video tomorrow because it's gonna be worth it.
Yeah, it was. It's gonna be worth it. It was a matter of fact. I got a pot of coffee made so I can edit tonight because I'm tired.
Well, I just walked in the pantry to get some water, and the coffee maker's red button was switched to on, and I hollered upstairs because Jason was upstairs transferring his files. I said, Jason, are you making coffee? And he said, yeah, so I can edit the video tonight.
So I can get that thing out.
Well, I didn't think I needed any coffee, so I fixed. Well, this is all we have left.
That's all we got.
So we have to share it. Does anybody know what this is?
That's all we got.
This is all we have left. It has a little nutmeg on the top of it, and Gidget thinks that it's going to be scrumptious.
We need a gallon.
We do need a gallon. And I don't think that, well, we could make it ourselves. And does anybody know what this is? What this glass? It doesn't look very pretty.
It don't look very pretty. There we go.
What? Oh, yeah, it's eggnog. So after last week, last Thursday, it was Thursday.
It was Thursday.
Friday morning, I was going to go Thursday night to go get the eggnog, but it was too cold. Remember when we finished the live and I told you I might go get it?
Yeah.
I waited till the next day, and I went up to our little store that we have in town because I didn't want to go to the big box store. And they had two different kinds, but they're not even a quart.
They're tiny.
They're little tiny things.
It is tiny.
And we drank it. We drank all but this. Look at Gidget. She looks like, do you like eggnog? I don't think so.
But yeah, it was you make a couple of, and that's a little glass. That's a little glass. It was like 5 drinks out of that thing.
Well, that's it.
That's it.
And one morning, it had to have been Friday morning. I went and got it Friday though. Maybe it was Saturday morning. Gosh, I don't know what day it was.
It had to be Friday morning.
No, because I went to Birmingham early Friday morning. You made me some coffee.
Oh, I did.
And put the eggnog in it.
Huh.
I don't know. It must have been Saturday.
Maybe it was Saturday then.
But I liked it in the coffee, but
you bought it on your way back.
Yes, I did. So Saturday morning is when I had it.
And we did get the rum you guys recommended.
We did.
Yep.
I actually went in the ABC stores, what they call it here. I don't know what they call it everywhere else because that's the Alabama beverage.
Alabama Beverage Control. That's what ABC stands for.
And I'm not a frequenter of the ABC store. And here I am. I walk in the door and there's, it's just wall to wall alcohol. And I have no idea where I'm going. So thank goodness for the little tags at the top that said what alcohol I was looking for.
Yeah.
And the door's going ding, ding. People coming in and out behind me. Hey, Charles. Ding, ding. Hey, Martha. And I'm in there like, they don't have a clue who I am because I've never been in here before. So I tell them that I'm looking for some rum, and they point to me. I could read it on the thing, but I think it said, if I'm not mistaken, I think it said Bacardi instead of rum on the little tag. So then I start looking at all the different kinds of rum, and oh my gracious.
It's a bunch, ain't it?
I was floored. I went up to the counter and I said, I have a question that I hope you can answer. I'm looking for something rum-wise to go in eggnog. Do I want spiced rum? Or I said, there's something back there that says black rum, but nothing said dark rum.
Yeah.
And she went over there and she asked the other girl, she said, hey, she's making eggnog. What kind of alcohol does she want? And a guy named Charles that was in there hollered across the store, Wild Turkey. And I thought, I got to get out of here. I got to run.
Oh, man.
So they conversed for a second or two and she said, don't listen to him. He's crazy. and I'm just nodding my head, And so she said, get the spiced rum. Well, I had read the comments. Some people said to don't get spiced rum. Some people said do get spiced rum. And I got the spiced rum. And lo and behold, we don't put enough in it for it to matter. But it does give it a little bit of extra flavor.
It does.
and then a little bit of nutmeg on the
Mhm.
top. So I'm happy it's eggnog season,
And not wild turkey and
not wild turkey. He said wild turkey, and
wild turkey.
I
Charles.
just,
Oh, Charles.
She said, don't listen to him. He's crazy.
I don't even know where the ABC store is around here.
Well, I tell you, I had to put it in my Google Maps to get there because I really didn't know.
Oh,
I
man.
knew the general direction, but I
Yeah.
didn't know exactly where I was going. So,
Oh, man, that's funny.
somebody said, what is wild turkey? It's just a type of alcohol.
It's whiskey.
Oh, it's a type of whiskey. See, I didn't even know that much.
Mm-hmm. It's whiskey.
But
Wild turkey.
So, me being the frugal person I am, I have to examine the price of all of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so they had a bottle that was about like this, and it was $19.99. Then they had a bottle that was about like this for like $21.99. And then the one next to it that was like this was on sale for $22.99. Well, I told y'all our liquor down there is from 1994. So I figured if I got the bottle this big,
That's right.
it could last until at least 2034.
Might as well. That's right.
So I bought the big bottle. I don't know what we're going to do with it, but I got it.
I tell you, we may make some vanilla extract.
Yes, that's a good idea.
I think that's what
That
we're
would
gonna
be
do with it.
something worthy for it.
We'll make some vanilla extract.
That's a good idea.
Yep.
That's a good idea. What were those pies that Zoe over at Chestnut Hills makes that have the alcohol in them?
Zoe's on here. Zoe, the Scotties.
Scotties.
They're
That wa-
cookies.
Oh, they're cookies.
Not
Okay.
pies.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
so
what threw me off here.
one day, a couple of weeks ago, I got a surprise in my mailbox. No, Arlo can come up here too. Got a surprise in my mailbox because Zoe's husband, Nick, goes right by here on his way to work. So get a text and he says, left you some goodies in the mailbox. I go get them. They said scammer, Jason.
Uh-oh, is it?
Right there.
Okay.
And then somebody told us that we could hit it and roll it. Anyway, so Nick sent me a message and he said, hey, I forgot to tell you I left some goodies in your mailbox. I run up to the mailbox and boy, they had a good assortment. And it was things that we haven't tried yet.
Mm-hmm.
One of them, what was it?
I'm looking for the scammer.
Scotchies?
Scotties or Scotchies?
Scotchies. And I assume
Yeah.
it has maybe scotch in it. But y'all, I'm here to tell you, it wasn't a whoopie pie, but it was the next best thing. It was good.
They were good.
That was my favorite thing out of
They were good.
that bunch. And it's hard to have a favorite when you're talking about Zoe's cooking because
Mm-hmm.
she makes cheese straws, she makes rolls, she makes all kind of whoopie pies. But those Scotchies are up here. There. Did you find the person?
I don't see them yet.
Okay. Well, the Scotchies were really good, and we shared them. We shared them because we both
We
liked
did
them.
share them. They were really good.
Really good.
Really good.
So I think she ships those Scotchies too. So if anybody wants to try some, reach out to Zoe at Chestnut Hills. And you got to pay attention to me because I can't do this live all by myself.
I was looking for the Scotcheroos.
Mhm.
It was called. It's just butterscotch. I haven't dosed y'all yet. Oh. It tasted like it, didn't it?
It did. Oh my gracious. Here I am lying.
Mm.
Well, Scotchies have butterscotch in them and they're really good. Really good.
They were
It
good.
tasted like it had a little bit of alcohol in
Tastes
it.
like it had rum in it.
Well,
I thought it did.
it didn't
Shows you what
matter
we know.
if it had it in it or not. They were
That's right.
good. Really good.
It was good.
All right. So what you got?
Oh,
I'm gonna try
much.
and give you a chance to talk.
Not much. Just I'm stoved up. I'm kind of like the
The Tin Man.
That's what I always say. I feel like the Tin Man.
Why don't you show Arlo? Because people
He's done been up here.
Oh, has he?
Yeah.
Some people were wanting to know where Arlo
He's
was.
right here.
And Arlo's just not
He's
he's not an affectionate
He's
dog.
not. I think a lot of schnauzers are like that. They're not like this thing that wants to be held and petted all day long.
She wants to be
Um,
held. She wants you to carry her around. She's,
Arlo's not like that at all. He just goes and he just was up here a second ago, but didn't stay. He's gone.
and he's just like
Yeah.
that. He just
Yeah.
he finds his own. A lot of times we'll be downstairs and we're like, "Where's Arlo? He's up here, asleep on
up
this
here.
couch
He'll come up here and
to
sleep.
be by himself." And
Oh,
Gidget
man.
says she would never do that. She needs a lap to sit in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the differences in breeds.
Total difference in breeds.
Well, if you don't have anything you want to talk about, I wanted to share something.
Go ahead.
So this past week, Greg finished up his work here
That's right.
at our farm. And there were a couple of extra things that we needed him to do. One was to cut a little trail down to the
Yep.
to the stream.
That's right.
And so we were kind of concerned about him getting in there with the bulldozer or the mini excavator because we didn't want it to look like a tornado come through.
Right.
And I think after you and him talked, he kind of, convinced you that he was going to take a path where the overgrowth was rather than big trees and such. So needless to say, Greg got his dozer and he made us a little path as far as he could before it started getting wet. And before he started, kind of sinking the dozer, he didn't think he was going to get stuck, but he thought he was going to make a mess out of it.
Yeah, he thought he was going to make a big mess out of it, and he didn't want us to have to deal with that mess.
So he went as far as he could and told Jason to chainsaw the rest of it.
Yep.
So Mary Carl has been so giddy waiting on the temperatures to drop low enough where we could walk in the woods.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, she's like somebody that's got a job planned outside because she's aware of the weather because she wants to walk in the woods.
Right.
We had really got down the night before to 27. So we knew there was no snakes around. And she and I decided to go walk in the woods while her daddy was cutting the little trail a little further with the chainsaw. So we walked our entire property along the streamline and, paid attention to the mushrooms and the trees and the algae and this, that, and the other. And on our way back, I'm walking and it's kind of a clearing. And she had packed her a bagel in her backpack. and had her bagel in her backpack and some water. So she sat down on the ground and was eating her bagel and drinking her water while, I can't sit still. So I'm walking around, just walking around. And I looked down and guess what I found on the ground?
Oh, gosh, y'all, look at this.
No.
No.
This is a gidge.
You're going to have to go downstairs.
No, she's not. It is a $10 bill.
In the woods.
In the woods, laying on the ground. Now, it's not that old. What was it from, 1998?
No, wasn't that? It was 2004-ish, I think is what it said on it.
But look at how bad it looks. And it was kind of like that, laying on the ground. And I thought to myself, where in the world? And I'm immediately looking around to see how many more I can come up with, because money really just doesn't grow in grass. And after I started thinking about it, it's not that old. It's obviously been through a lot.
It has been through a lot.
I'm wondering if it may have gotten picked up in a tornado.
Yeah, because we had that. That's right. There was a...
right after we bought this property.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been in March of 2021. Right?
2 years ago.
March of 2021. Don't get that stuff off that money in my dream. Jason, I don't know.
Because this is 2022. It was 2 years ago.
Well, we had a pretty big tornado that came through about 5 miles from us. Is that what you would say?
Yeah, I think about 5 miles from us.
And I mean, it demolished some houses. It was really amazing the path that the tornado took and picked up before it got to this property.
Mm-hmm.
But after that tornado, we saw numerous pieces of insulation laying in the woods, up in the top of trees.
We did.
Just lots of trash, to say the least. And when I saw that on the ground, that's what I thought. I thought that got picked up from a tornado. Now, what do y'all think?
Somebody said you could take it to the bank and they'd replace it for you.
How about that?
I got to looking at it, and I thought it had supposed to have a strip in it, but maybe it was maybe it's too old for the strip. Well, it was counterfeit. people.
Why would somebody counterfeit money, walk it in my woods, and put it on the ground?
Maybe they're running a counterfeit operation here on our property.
Well, I hope I find the rest of it, because I sure looked. And me and Carl was like, "Mama, what are you looking for?" I said, "Money, baby."
Everybody's saying the bank will replace it, Brooke.
Well, I want to know where they think it came from.
That's a good question.
I mean, it was in the woods. It's not like where the house or where the mobile home that the gentleman used to own this
And
property.
when was the last time somebody lived here?
Oh my gracious. 20 years ago?
No, it was later than that. I thought it was like
15 maybe. Because that's when the
that.
Google Map thing was taken.
No, it was way before. No, that's way too old.
Well, where do y'all think it came from? Where do y'all think?
Like
do
5, 6
y'all
years
think
ago.
it's more where that came from?
Well, metal detector ain't gonna help you with
No,
this paper
it's
money.
not. But I'll take coins. I don't care what it is. Hey, stop.
You could frame it.
I could. If I find 100, you better bet your bottom dollar it ain't gonna be framed. It's going in my pocket.
Yeah. A lot of
It's
people are
going to
saying
buy
that's
me
one
some
of
eggnog.
them.
Well, I was thinking about at our old property.
Yeah.
You know, we had the creek.
Yeah.
And the creek had the big high banks.
That's right.
And every time after it rained, the first thing I thought about was going to inspect that area for arrowheads
Mm-hmm.
because it was loaded with them.
Yeah, you could find them you may go out there 5 times, and 1 out of 5 times you come back with 2 or 3 arrowheads.
Well, most of the time, if you went after a big rain, though, you
Yeah.
were going to find something.
Right.
Because the water had shifted and, you know, made different paths that weren't there previously. And so, you know, I was always eager to look for arrowheads. And surprisingly enough, Mary Carl's not that interested in them.
Huh.
She's more interested in the mushrooms and the fungus and the stuff like
the
that.
Flowers and the.
And so it was a really cold day when she and I were walking in the woods, and we've got a stream. So obviously I'm looking for arrowheads.
Mm-hmm.
And I found 2 that when I got back, I showed them to you, and you didn't think that they were
I'm
arrowheads.
100% positive they're not arrowheads.
But I was giddy when I found them, and my bubble was busted when I got back. I was disappointed to find out that I didn't have arrowheads, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to continue to look for money, because I have proof that money exists in the woods.
You do have proof, because you reckon we got a
Money tree.
Oh,
That's what it is. That's
Yeah.
what I want to know. People think, where do they think that money came from?
Most people said they think it was the tornado.
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I really do. I think that's where it probably came from.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm just envisioning all of somebody's belongings being taken away. And
Well, you know, you saying that kind of reminded me of something.
what's that?
Something I've been wanting to talk about.
Okay.
Because it's kind of funny, but then I won't.
Is it what just came up?
Yeah. So a video got published last month about us, or it's got my picture on it. And these companies do these videos, and they're all the same. And this was the photo that they used, the thumbnail that they used on this video right here. And $73 million, and it's got these 2 sport cars on there. And I was like, good gracious, that is crazy. And I'm like, how many people actually saw this and believed it? $73 million?
I don't think too many believe it.
I hope not. And
I don't
the thing is all these things do this company, there's several of them out there, because
Y'all don't
I
go
mean-
Google it and watch it, because that just gives them credit to.
I mean, Acre Homestead, she's worth $91 million. And it was just crazy. This is just a few acre farms. It shows $75 million for him. And then another person, this was Laura Farms, $52 million. Look, she got some Bentleys.
I
And
know
that's
why
just-
you're saying that,
Why?
because I was all excited about the $10. And you're making $73 million a year, and here I am excited about.
But then when you
$10.
click on the video, it obviously doesn't say that that we $73 million, which is crazy. and it's just, and there's oodles of channels that do this, and they get everybody. I mean, Daniel, Lester, any channel that's got in any type of size to them, there's been a video about them like this. And all they do is they got bots out there, like little robots. Basically what it amounts to is that they go out, and anything that's been written about us or anything that we've said on the internet or anything like that, they get that information because it's out there, and they get that information and they put it all together, and then they make like a 2 or 3 minute video, and then they estimate everything. And so it tells you this story that's halfway true. It's the craziest thing. So I just wanted to make sure people just see stuff like this. Y'all ignore it or report it or anything. I guess I could report it as false misinformation, I reckon.
Well, that's funny that you talk about that, because I was just talking about our old creek at our old house.
Yeah.
And where we found the most arrowheads was kind of on up behind, one of the neighbors' house.
Mm-hmm.
And so I get a message from one of our old neighbors the other day.
That's right.
And he said, I was on YouTube this weekend. Congratulations on the $73 million and the Mercedes and the Teslas. Didn't actually watch the video, but Jason looks really happy.
But he was joking around.
He was joking around.
He was joking around. I was thinking, and where can I got these cars hidden at?
Oh, really? Well, you know where they are. They're in that garage because we never
opened up the garage. That's where I got those 2 cars that I got hidden in the garage.
Yeah, we just parked that old $73
million.
Yeah.
I tell you the truth. $73 million. I mean, I love YouTube and I love you guys, but $73 million. We'd be at the Bahamas or somewhere. You reckon?
No, we'd be sitting right here, looking for $10 bills on the ground.
Oh,
I might buy me another Pomeranian though.
Oh, you reckon?
I would. I'd get you one.
Oh, gracious.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Come on over here, Arlo. Come on over here.
You know what she wants? She wants the eggnog, and she thinks he's trying to get it.
Come on, Arlo. I'm gonna put it over here. Now, there you go.
So, what else is happening? Good. I saw somebody earlier that wanted to know if we ship to Australia, and I think they were talking about the calendars.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to address that. Our last live, we showed the calendars that we have available for 2023. They are on coghillfarm.com. You can purchase one at any time and have it shipped just about anywhere in the entire world.
It looked like it. And when we checked it out on the live, and it showed yeah, just about everywhere.
It was just about everywhere that it would ship. So you shouldn't have any problems. And a matter of fact, if you come up with a country that they don't ship to, send us an email. And
you know what? Know. And I think it's the company that's doing it for us is called Lulu. And there was somebody that sent an email that had a question about it, and I couldn't get to it in time. And I saw her emails, and she had a question, and then she asked Lulu, and they answered her promptly and got her fixed up. She was having an issue with something. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So if you have any issues, anything there, or if you got a question, it looks like their customer service is pretty good. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they'll help Mama, because she tried to order one and have it shipped to somebody else's address.
Oh gosh.
Said she was going to have me to help her with it.
Oh man.
So maybe Lulu will help Mary Lou.
Yeah, maybe so.
Lulu, help Mary Lou out, please.
Somebody said they already got their calendar.
Wow.
Good gracious.
Wasn't it Thursday?
That was unreal.
I know it was.
Wow.
I think it was.
Somebody said they ordered one from Australia.
Okay, good.
So that
well, I just wanted to say that because I saw it when we first came on live, and it just said, "Do you ship to Australia?"
If you ordered one of these calendars and you're watching this live and you're outside the United States, I would love to know. Somebody said Labrador. I would love to know if Gidget to see where you guys are from, and if you got a calendar, where did it get shipped to? That'd be cool.
We ought to get us a map and start pinning places.
Oh gosh,
around the world.
How do we know?
Well, Laura,
but she actually sees where it's going to.
Yeah.
We're not doing that. That wouldn't work.
I tried.
Yeah, that wouldn't work. Jason, there's another scammer on here. Good gracious, they're on full force tonight.
Yeah, they think that since you fell for that 73 million.
I guess so. I got rid of one already.
You fell for 73.
Oh. All right. Y'all report them if you see them. Australian. That's what I'm talking about.
Australian. I see sometimes people from South Africa.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to say any.
People are saying I got a scammer, but I don't know their name, so I can't tell who it is.
Are they on Facebook or YouTube?
It's Facebook. But I got to see who they are. Just type their name in there.
Tag them. How about that?
And I can see who it is.
Gidget says she wants that so bad. That eggnog.
Gidget, girl, you about to drive me nuts tonight.
So this week we had a little issue with Moody and his hay feeder.
Yeah, we did. His new one.
Well, no, his old one. That's why we got the new one.
Oh, okay.
I was going to talk about the videos that we did this week.
Sure.
While you look for this.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
So Jason goes out. Obviously, Moody's got the hay ring, the end of the hay ring on his neck. It's not going to work, right?
It's not going to work.
It's not going to work. Every morning when we go outside, he has the picnic table flipped upside down.
Every morning.
The legs are up in the air. And Topper's like, man,
he is
where did my picnic table go? Because Topper loves the picnic table. That's like his thing.
And he loves getting in it. I mean, under it and on top of it.
He does. So we knew we had to make a change. And if you watched that video, hopefully all of you did. I did not really think that what do you call it? Poly?
The poly ring.
I didn't think the poly ring was going to be our answer. I really didn't. But the more we started thinking about it, the more we realized if we get the metal one, he's just going to dent it up.
Well, that's what the cattle farmer told us. We when we went and bought it, we were headed there, intentions of buying the poly one. But then before we left, I was like, I don't know if we want that poly one or not because it may be too light. And then, so we got there, we felt it, and that poly hay ring, y'all, was heavy.
It was just about as heavy as the metal one. It
fooled me. I'm telling y'all, it fooled me big time. Matter of fact, I thought when I could pick it up, I thought I was just going to just flip it up like it wasn't nothing. And nope. It was super, I mean, not like crazy heavy, but it weighed just as much as the cheaper metal one.
Yeah.
And almost as much as the more expensive metal one.
Well, the cattle farmer told us that she had 2 metal ones that needed to go to scrapyard because her cows had tore it up.
Yeah.
Had squashed it.
Yep.
And the good thing about the poly one is it can't be squashed.
That's what she said. The lady there was a big cattle farmer, and she was like, well, and she heard us talking.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, look, I got cows and, all this, that. And she said, I got 2 hay rings right now that are metal that are just destroyed. She said, because they lean on them, they hit them, they push them down. So all that, and that she said the next one, she said, I'm fixing to buy 2 more. And she said, I'm most definitely buying the poly one. She said, unless your cow is diving off a high dive and doing a belly flop on top of it, it's almost impossible to tear the poly ones up.
And that's what we wanted to hear. That was our deciding
that's exactly what we wanted to hear.
Because we were still kind of not knowing what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Until she said that. And then, of course, the employees, they may or may not have cows.
Right.
So they can tell you what they sell the most of, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's what you should go with.
Right.
But when she said that and hers were damaged, we knew that wasn't going to work.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I told you, I said, I never thought about it bending or pushing on it and that kind of thing, because he's kind of messed up a little bit the hay cradle we got.
Yeah, it's being a little bit. Did you find them?
Keep talking.
Well, you distract me. I wish the scammers would just take
It's
a hike.
awful tonight. We ain't had this many.
It's so distracting for y'all because we have to stop what we're doing. And then anybody that responds to you and tells you to text a certain number, y'all, that's not us. That is not
That
us.
wasn't another one. That was somebody saying some other crazy stuff. That wasn't really a scammer. It was
okay. So it was real.
So some people are asking what a poly one is. A poly one is it's black and it's kind of plastic. It's plastic, basically what it is.
But it's not PVC.
Plastic. No, it's not PVC, and they called it poly. That's what they called it. And so far it's been awesome.
Yeah.
So far it's been really, really awesome. And I think it's going to be fine. And I'm thinking now, I had those anchors on it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to put the anchors on this one because it has gotten moved one time. And so I think I'm going to put the anchors on it just in case. Just in case I don't have to worry about it. And flipping it all flippity flop and
we know wind is not going to pick it up. You would think something that was poly would be super light, and it's it really is heavy.
It is heavy. It's way heavier than I ever thought about. So yeah, that was a good thing then, and that kind of leads us to tomorrow's video. That's the one you need to watch for, is tomorrow's video, because it's going to be another Moody video. And we mentioned it on the last two lives, but that's what took us all day, was Moody's big surprise. And so Moody's got his big surprise today. So you guys can see it tomorrow. So be sure to check that out, because he's a happy camper.
He is a happy camper. Matter of fact, I went and took garbage, and it was after dark.
Yeah.
And he was still excited about his surprise, and it was dark outside. I shined my headlights on my tractor over, and I was like, oh my gracious.
Well, I tell you what was funny is that, y'all, that day I went out there, and he had the piece of that hay cradle around his neck. You should have seen the look on his face. It was just so sincere. He just looked like, I don't know what in the world I done, man, but
get this thing off of me.
What? And I don't think he actually was playing around with it. I think he just stuck his head there, and he's done that. Hay cradle used to be closer in, and he kind of has spreaded it apart, and so that piece doesn't stay in like it's supposed to anymore. And so he kind of moved it around and got it out. And that's why it was stuck around his neck. But it was absolutely, I busted out laughing. You
couldn't help but laugh.
Oh my gracious.
And the looks that he has on his face are just, that just tells it all.
He is something else now. So then I opened up the gate, and I didn't know how hard it was going to be to get off. That was one thing. I was like, good gracious, I don't know how hard this thing's going to be to get off of him. But it wasn't. He just stood there, and I just grabbed it with one hand because I had my phone in my other hand. And I was like, oh, this is going to come off easy. And I did get it off, and he was just like, oh, man, thank you. I mean, his looks on his face is just, he's something else. I'm going to tell you, he is one of a kind, I can tell y'all. If you haven't seen it, if you missed that video, you need to go watch it, because
it tells a lot.
He's
about
a mess.
Moody. It tells a lot about Moody.
Don't it tell a lot about him?
He's got a big personality, and we're happy to have him.
And guys, do you know this month? Matter of fact, it came up on my memories today on Facebook. My Facebook memories is the day I made the video came out when we got Moody. Today.
Oh my gracious!
Y'all believe that?
We've
had Moody a year.
Wow. It doesn't
That
seem
is,
like a year.
it don't seem like a year at all.
No, and you know, the other day when we got Mildred after, oh, that was Mildred's birthday.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't remember when we got Mildred. I'm sure it's coming up because
Yeah.
it was cold outside.
It was cold outside,
I
so
was
Mildred is
thinking-
coming up.
I was thinking about bottle feeding Mildred and it being cold outside and us using the cattle trailer as the, to put a heat source in
Mhm.
so she wouldn't get too cold at night. And that was less than a year ago.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it.
It don't seem like it at all, does it?
Time flies when you're having fun.
It does. And y'all, I'm going to work on this video tonight, and I'm going to put some of that old footage of Moody in there. And I want you guys, when y'all watch the video, look how much bigger Moody's gotten. Even his horns.
Well,
He's and we say he was 2, but I don't know when he lost. So Moody is getting close to 3 now. So he's a little boy. I mean, he's not a full grown, full fledged. He's got a lot more growing to do. So he's gonna get bigger. That's the thing.
yeah. And I can't remember why, but I saw a clip of us loading him in the trailer.
I showed it to you.
Is it okay?
Mm-hmm.
You showed it to me, and I could not believe how easy it was to get that cow in that trailer.
In that tiny,
Thinking back,
that tiny horse trailer.
Thinking back, I
know
must
it. Isn't
have
that something?
lost my mind.
Isn't that crazy?
Thinking we were gonna. I mean, we really must have. We just.
You were dead set on getting him.
I was, and something must have been deep down inside my brain telling me everything was going to be okay.
It must have been,
because that's not something that probably it couldn't happen again.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, we couldn't get him to load that easy.
Who's bigger, Moody or Moo? Moo is bigger than Moody right now, but I think Moo. I don't know how old Moo is, but I think Moo's a good bit bigger than Moody. So Moo is bigger. Matter of fact, Wes from Big Family Small Farm, or Big Family Matters is what they're on tonight. He told me when they did the I Survived, I'm a Survivor, and he was like, man, Moody's big. He said, but Moo, good gracious, I think you could walk under Moo without ducking.
Really?
I think so. And I think Moody's going to get that big. He's a big boy.
He is.
I don't know how much Moo weighs, but it's got to be up there. Got to be up there because we're estimating Moody. Well, when we got him, it was estimation around 12 to 1,300 pounds, but now we're thinking around 1,600-ish. So I don't know.
I see
how
a lot
much
of people
Moo weighs.
asking who is Moo.
Moo is Lester at I'm a Survivor sanctuary. They got a same Holstein steer over there, and I think he's a steer. Is it Moo a boy? I don't know. That's crazy.
He's got to be a boy because heifers just get wider than they do taller.
Maybe
in
so.
a Holstein because they're milk cows.
Maybe so. But Moo's a good bit bigger than I say a good bit bigger. I ain't seen them side by side, but just looking at them on the videos, they seem bigger.
Well, what we ought to do is load Moody up and take him to Texas.
We could have a sleepover.
And
Moo's a boy. I knew you guys would know that. So Moo is a steer. I thought he was a steer.
Okay.
They can have a sleepover, Moody and Moo.
I don't know how that's gonna go.
Oh,
Joe said, "Can he go?"
we don't need Joe.
We
don't need Joe going anywhere. But Moody, somebody said that. That's right. I remember seeing that video. Daniel 6'3", and Moo was taller than Daniel.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Daniel's a big man.
Yeah. And so I'm guessing our Moody, he's around 6 foot. I had to measure him, but I think he's around 6 foot.
That's what we ought to do, a video comparison, Moo and Moody.
We ought to do that. We could have a sleepover, though. I could have a sleepover.
Am I going to have to sleep in my old camper?
You might have to sleep
That's
in your
all
old
I'm
camper.
worried about.
That's right.
Am I going to have to sleep in my old camper?
You reckon Lester and Jamie will let us sleep in the old camper?
They can sleep in the old camper. We'll sleep in the house. I don't really want anything else to do with the camper. No offense, but you never know. You might get a wild hair to build another house or something.
Oh gosh, we ain't through with this one yet.
No, we are not.
We ain't through with this one
Gosh,
yet.
I just thought of something. Oh, I know. So in the last live, I talked about tackling Mary Carl an aviary
Yeah.
for the inside of her
Right.
bedroom. And the wire came in.
It did.
The wire came in on Friday. It was not supposed to be here until Monday, which is tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And so, of course, as soon as she saw the wire was here, we had to get back to work on the aviary, the indoor aviary, which is going to be made out of 2x2 untreated pieces of wood and
Mhm.
hardware cloth. And it's going to eliminate the cages. Her birds will be separated, but by a panel instead of a cage. And so we couldn't quite figure out how I was gonna drill the holes and bolt the panels together and everything. So Mr. Handyman over here, he decided that us girls might need a little help.
I did.
And he told us what to get for our bolts. And so yesterday afternoon late, we went on a run to Tractor Supply and we got all the bolts and nuts and washers that we needed to screw the thing together. And how do you think we did?
You did good.
We did good, but we
Yeah.
don't have it all the way finished.
You don't have it all. Yeah, it's not all the way done. And intentions on doing it today, but our little Moody project took three
All
times
day.
longer than it should have. But
But I had somebody said that they thought that the birds were going to chew on that untreated wood. Well, Mary Carl has no concern about that because they're going to have enough natural toys and natural things to play with and things that'll keep them entertained to where they won't be interested in the wood.
good
Per her. That's what she says.
She knows then.
And by the way, if Thanksgiving's coming up, I have a feeling we'll do another live before Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
But for those people that don't know this, I want to say this
Mhm.
because I don't want anybody to lose any birds over this. But if you plan on cooking a turkey and you are using one of those turkey bags,
Mm-hmm.
they're an oven bag. It's meant for a turkey. You put it
Mhm.
in there and it keeps the moisture in. It will kill your birds.
Yes.
So if you have an indoor bird, please do not use a turkey bag.
That's right.
That goes for nonstick cookware too, but that's a whole nother podcast in itself. But I wanted to say that because I felt like it may save somebody's bird. I think most people that have birds may know that, but there's always a chance that there's somebody watching that doesn't realize that.
That's good advice too. We don't want anybody having something tragic happen, especially around Thanksgiving.
And you may not even know what happened
Yeah.
because your bird will fall dead and you may not know it.
Right.
You may not know why,
Right.
but it will kill them. So
Mm.
you have birds, don't use an oven bag.
It's the fumes.
Yeah, it puts off
some
fumes
type
and
of fume that's deadly to them.
toxic to birds.
And non-stickware does the same
Non-stick
thing. Yep.
cookware.
Yep.
We had a parakeet when I was about 9, I guess.
Mhm.
And it was my daddy's bird. My mama was terrified of birds. Terrified of birds.
I think she saw the movie. You reckon?
I don't know, but she was always scared they were going to get in her hair. Birds, get in her hair.
I think she probably saw the movie. The
I don't
Birds.
know. But anyway, so it was my daddy's bird.
Mm-hmm.
And he kept, he did all the care for the bird. I don't know why, but I didn't too much care for the bird. I had nothing to do with the bird. And I
Right.
was an animal lover. So maybe my mama told me to don't go near that bird. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't remember that. But y'all, this parakeet, I don't even know if it was a boy or a girl, but its name was Pug because the breeder that my dad got it from's name was Pug. That was its nickname because it bred pugs too, the person.
Mm-hmm.
So its nickname was Pug. So the bird's name was Pug. And that bird could say anything my daddy taught it to. Little parakeet, little budgie,
Just like you get at the
like you get at the store. Now,
Yep.
I know that people know that they can talk, say a few words. I'm not talking about like that. I'm talking about a vocabulary like you would not believe.
Right.
He would sit on my daddy's glasses right here, and he would, it was more like a whistle. Yankee Doodle went to town or
Uh-huh.
riding on a pony. He could sing that song. He could say, Kitty, want to go for a walk?
Mhm.
I'm just thinking of the
Yeah,
different
yeah.
things that he could say. Pug's a pretty bird, and just on and on and on. And one day, he got all mixed up, and none of his words went together correctly. None of his sentences made sense. His whistling was of no tune that you had ever heard before. And so I was telling the story to Mary Carl. It's been a couple of 3 years ago, and she wanted to know what year it was.
Uh-huh.
And I told her that it was probably about 1986, something
Mhm.
like that. So she looked up, and that's about when non-stick cookware came out. And I don't know what happened to the bird, but the bird, my daddy came to check on him one day, and he was in his cage at the bottom dead. And so I'm starting to wonder if that may have been what happened.
May have been. May have been.
If non-stick cookware had just came out, they probably weren't even aware that it would kill birds at that time. The manufacturer,
Right,
I'm
right.
sure. So nobody would think to say, "Hey, if you got a bird, don't use non-stick cookware." Don't know. Weird happening though.
That is weird happening.
But it's almost like he had something wrong in his brain,
Uh-huh.
and maybe her cooking with that cookware could have caused that, and then all of a sudden his body couldn't take it
Because he didn't
anymore.
know back in.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just a speculation.
That does sound like it, though.
It does, doesn't it?
Mhm. It does
It
sound
could
like
be.
it.
Could be. So I don't know.
Your mama didn't slip it something, did you?
I don't think so.
She was-
But I can remember us backing down the driveway when I was in my teenage years, 13,
Yeah,
14, something like that. Of course, I wasn't driving the car, but our driveway was a steep hill, and we're backing down the driveway, and a hummingbird got in the car,
Uh-huh.
and she came out the window.
Isn't it? I wonder if there's a. I bet it is. I bet you guys will Google it for us too. What it's called when somebody has the fear of birds. I bet
Well,
it's called something.
she doesn't
some
have
type
it
of a-
anymore.
No, she don't have any more. But since
Mary Carl got her out of it,
Mary Carl got her out of it,
and she became a bird lover.
Mhm.
And Zerk, well, I guess Penny was probably the changing.
yeah, it
of
probably
that.
was Penny. You're probably right. It
Penny
probably
was Mary
Penny.
Carl's pet chicken that
Mhm.
if you knew her, you loved her, and there was no way you could not like birds after
After
being
Penny.
around Penny.
Yeah.
And then Zerk came along, who's a cockatiel who would interact with you and sit on
Yep.
your finger. So
That's right.
anyway,
There we go, right there. It's called orthophobia.
orthophobia, Mr. Wordsmith, you didn't know?
It's
That's beyond your
yeah.
knowledge.
I'm not a tell you, I'm not good at vocabulary. I'm just a wordsmith.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, okay. Fear of birds. She's not that way anymore, but she used to. She used to have that fear of birds. Pug's a pretty
Pug's
bird.
a pretty bird.
He was just a little
What
yellow,
color? Oh, he's yellow.
yellow green.
Yellow.
Just your normal.
Well, back then that's all it was, really.
Yeah, that's all you saw.
Yeah, when you went to they wouldn't. Now those things are
all different
good
mutations.
gracious. They're all different colors now, but since like back then they were.
He was green, with a little yellow on him.
Yeah.
I would say more so than.
You could even buy those things at Walmart.
Yeah.
Our Walmart, I remember before they came out with these super Walmarts now, but back when they didn't have groceries and.
Speaking of that, let me tell a funny story about fish.
Did you get fish at Walmart?
No.
Walmart used to
we
have
did.
all. It was like
we always had an aquarium ever since I could walk. My daddy had an aquarium, and he knew all about the fish that were in it. It was his thing. He took care of it. So we didn't lose too many fish, but when we did, we'd go to Walmart and get another fish to replace it.
Our Walmart had fish.
And my Mima always had fish. That was my daddy's mama. So I think that's where his love for fish came from.
Uh-huh.
But I can remember being little, and I can't say it without laughing. And my Mima thinking that there was something wrong with one of her fish.
Uh-huh.
And she would get the net and get it out and put it on a paper towel.
Uh-huh.
And paint mercurochrome all over it.
That's right. You remember you telling me that.
She would put mercurochrome, which is that orange antiseptic.
Yeah.
Paint the fish both sides and put him back in the water, and he would be okay.
Oh, mercurochrome.
I don't remember my daddy ever doing that.
Yeah.
But my Mima sure did. And I
Well,
have never heard of such in my life.
well, I tell you something that you won't forget as a kid.
What?
Mercurochrome.
I think it's chrome, not comb.
Mercurochrome.
Yeah, it makes you orange.
And it burns.
It does burn. I
It-
bet it burned that fish too.
I bet it would burn that
I
fish.
can remember them just flopping around on that paper towel, and her getting it in the net and lowering it back in.
Was it? Did the orange kind of come
Yeah, a
into the
little bit.
water?
A little bit. Probably helped all of them then. I mean
Right.
that.
I tell you though, if you want, you seen your mama bring out the Mercurochrome,
You better run.
you better run.
I even tried to see if they still sold it.
Do they?
Well, I looked at Walmart when I was in there.
Do they have it?
No, it didn't come up.
And y'all know, do y'all know what I'm talking about? Was that it had that little If you don't know what I'm talking about, it was a little old bottle about yay big,
Mhm.
and you took the top off of it,
And it had the dropper made on it.
and it wasn't a dropper.
It had the.
It had a little stick that had a little slit in the bottom.
Well,
of it.
that's so you baste your fish with it. I hope she didn't use that same Mercurochrome that she basted the fish with to heal our sores.
Oh goodness, do they still? I wonder if they still sell that.
I tried to find it and I could not.
You talking about fire in a bottle? Ooh, ooh.
Mercurochrome. And you always knew when you had a boo-boo because your whole knee or whatever would be orange.
The orange.
Or your elbow or your fish or
You know it too when your mama put it on you.
yeah.
I
wonder if
always
they
like
still make it.
peroxide better because it didn't. Peroxide don't seem to burn as bad as Mercurochrome would.
Wonder what she thought that Mercurochrome did for
Who
that fish.
knows? Where did she get that information from? There wasn't no internet back then.
It must have been in encyclopedias, all I can figure.
It must have been in an encyclopedia.
Because that is not anything I have ever heard or seen anybody do.
It looks like you can't get it anymore.
Oh, really?
I think that's what I'm reading in the comments here, that you can't get it anymore. They don't make it anymore.
Why?
It probably because of your finger catches on fire.
Probably
Just
everybody was
burst into
using it for their
flames.
fish. I bet they can buy it at a pet store, I bet.
You reckon?
Yeah,
Yeah, I bet you can.
I bet so.
I bet they had it at Walmart, the fish, and then they had the bottles of Mercurochrome all right there.
That I'm gonna have to ask some of my daddy's family members if they remember that and what the purpose was.
Of the putting it on the fish?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe they
You're
had
the only person I ever heard that ever said
what?
that they put Mercurochrome on a fish.
Well, I hope I'm the only one that ever tells you that because it's kind of not normal.
Yeah.
I mean, laid the fish on a paper towel and painted him. And he would be okay after that. But she obviously saw something wrong with it
Yeah.
where it needed that Mercurochrome on it.
That's the craziest thing I ever heard. That's the craziest thing you ever heard of.
Do you want to take a few questions? I know you got to go.
Yeah, we got to take a few questions before we head out. Mercurochrome, it has mercury in it, and that's why they took it off the shelf.
Oh. Well, what do y'all think it did for those fish?
I don't know. But that's why they took it off the shelf. Look at there.
Because it had mercury in
It had
it.
mercury in it. So somebody asked, did it hurt when Nugget gave me a high five? And no, it doesn't hurt because actually what he does is he bites my ring. And we got these silicone rings that we actually love.
Yes,
Because I have hung my ring one time and it hurt. I mean, I almost messed up big time, but it did start to peel. But over the years, especially working in the farm and stuff, you can get that ring caught on something and it ain't pretty at all. And so these little silicone rings are awesome. No, we haven't got any new egg layers yet. We still got the Rhode Island Reds.
Oh, you know what?
Somebody said your fish had the ick, and that's why they
Yes,
put it
and I remember my daddy talking about ick.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like a whitish looking film, if I'm not mistaken.
And that's what cured it.
And Mercurochrome
Yep.
kit. Huh.
Mhm. Yep.
Does anybody know of anybody else that used Mercurochrome for their fish?
So
And Jason, I don't
the
remember.
purpose. Somebody's asking a question about the vinegar. What were you saying?
I don't remember mercurochrome burning. Iodine burns.
Mercurochrome burned too. Everybody else saw it too. Mercurochrome will burn.
I just don't remember.
Ooh,
it.
I do. I do. Apple cider vinegar. Why don't we put that in our chicken waterers? Mainly for the probiotics, and it just kind of helps them. Their especially when they're young. But that's mainly it. You just make sure that you get the apple cider vinegar that has the mother in it,
Not flavored apple cider
not the flavor,
vinegar.
because there are some fake apple cider vinegars out there, and it's hard to distinguish the difference, y'all. Unless you get Bragg's, if you buy Bragg's, it's gonna be the good stuff. But you can buy another brand, and it'll say apple cider vinegar on it. But if you read the fine print, it's just flavored. It's got fake flavoring in it, so. Just be sure you buy the one with the mother in it.
Okay.
And for our big chickens, we don't do it every single time we give them water. We just do it about once a week or every third time we fill the waterers up or something like that. Every other time. It's just not something they get all the time because you can't overdo that kind of stuff.
So when we moved the Rhode Island Reds outside, I had been filling their feeders up once in the morning and then topping it off in the afternoon when they were in the brooder. When they moved outside, the first day they didn't eat their whole, gallon feeder. The second day they didn't eat their whole gallon feeder. I don't know how long they've been in there, but they eat the whole gallon feeder, and I have to fill it up in the afternoon.
I want to tell you, when you were gone Friday, and I did all the chores that morning, I filled that thing up first thing. That afternoon, when I told you that I waited till it warmed up a little bit before I filled the water, because they all had water. It wasn't like they were out of water. I went in there, and they still had about this much water left.
They ate all their food?
Food was almost gone.
I'm going to have to get that big feeder and put in there.
These some eating machines
they
now.
They are. I was so happy because I had went through only one 50-pound bag. Well, shortly before we moved them outside, I'd only went through one 50-pound bag. And they always had feed. But now, boy, it's kind of like Mary Carl, I guess. They got to that point where they just got to grow.
They are. Yeah, Mary Carl's growing like you just don't know. She is growing so fast.
My mama didn't see her while she had the flu. And the next time that she saw her, she said, "Gosh, you've grown."
We haven't got the wall coverage yet. But you did get a new stapler.
I did. I got one that plugs in instead of an air stapler. It was
and you got it for the
for what I'm doing in the aviary.
You've been doing a lot of it inside the house, so
yeah, it's cold, and so I bring those panels inside and lay them on the concrete floor and staple away. The Mary Carl staples away. I
haven't had a chance to take apart the air one yet, though. I'm going to.
Don't ever put apple cider vinegar if you use a metal water, though.
Yeah, if you got metal water, apple cider vinegar is going to take the coating off of it, and that thing is going to rust. Trust us, we know that one. Yeah. We've made that mistake already, so you don't have to.
A lot of people are saying that they have the mercurochrome on Amazon.
Okay.
I think I'm going to order a bottle just in case I get some fish.
So they're saying it wasn't mercurochrome that burned, it was methylate. I don't know what they said. Boy, it used to be something my mama put on me that burned. Maybe that's what it was.
It was iodine, probably.
We didn't have iodine. It wasn't iodine. How do we keep our peafowl out of our flowers? We hadn't had an issue right now. Thank goodness. At our old farm now, I put the flags around the garden, and that gave the illusion that our fence was a good bit taller. But still, if they wanted to get in there, they could, because peacocks can fly very high, very, very high.
Somebody said I look like I need to go to bed. I'm reading comments. I don't need to go to bed.
Oh, me.
I will shortly, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Couple more. Oh, what do y'all have planned to cook for your Thanksgiving dinner? I would like to know that. I go back and read these comments,
Uh-huh.
and I want to know what different people plan to cook for their Thanksgiving dinner. Is that a good thing to
That
ask?
is a good thing to ask. What are people cooking for Thanksgiving? We're actually getting a turkey from Chestnut Hills.
That's right. I'm not sleeping, Sarah. I'm
And-
awake. I'm not going to look anymore because I don't want to look like I'm
and
not interested.
and I'm going to cook it on our pellet grill.
Yes.
And I bought this kit from Traeger, who's a maker of a pellet grill, and I saw it. It's the first time I saw it, and the pellets are it's
Hickory?
maple, and I think it was hickory and rosemary.
Yes.
It's the
I remember
pellets.
you telling me.
Yeah, and it came with the orange brine that you add bourbon or whiskey to,
Oh, you didn't tell me that part.
and that's the brine. And then it came with the rub, and that whole kit was like $29.99,
And that was free shipping.
and that was the pellets and all. I don't know what it is now, but I was floored because a bag of wood pellets usually cost you about $20.
Yeah. So, that's a fairly good deal.
Yeah, it was a really good deal, and so I'm super excited about that, to cook that turkey on the grill. And so
So, we made our pies
Mhm.
yesterday.
we
The
did.
video is going to be coming out on Tuesday. We made buttermilk pie and we made sweet potato pie. Jason made the pie crust. What is it?
I'm reading what everybody's cooking. I saw
Oh.
gumbo and shrimp.
Oh.
Yeah.
So the pie video is coming out Tuesday.
Uh-huh.
That pie's not going to last until Thanksgiving, though. Either one of them. We're going to eat them before then.
Oh yeah, we're gonna eat for you.
So I cooked.
Barbecue ribs and baked beans.
I cooked enough sweet potatoes so that I could go ahead and make a sweet potato casserole. So I've got the sweet potato casserole prepared and frozen in a Ziploc bag, ready to go in the oven on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make macaroni and cheese. We are going to have dressing, of course.
Mm-hmm.
We have to have cranberry sauce that comes out of the can because that's Mary Carl's favorite.
But her favorite. She doesn't like the homemade.
She wants it like year round. She
Mhm.
loves the sugared cranberry sauce. You know what? Something that's one of my favorite things.
Chicken wings. That's what I'm talking
For
about.
Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Huh.
Yes.
Chicken wings.
I like that.
One of my favorite things that I remember about Thanksgiving dinners with my family was congealed salad.
Yeah, I'm not a congealed salad fan, but
And
you are.
I love it.
Mhm.
But I'm not going to make it just for me.
I don't think Mary Carl's a fan either.
She's not.
Yeah.
And
not
my
a fan.
mama would eat it, but she tries to watch what she eats. So it just would be for me, and I'm not making something just for me.
You can.
Well, I'm not because
Yeah.
I'll eat the whole thing.
But a lot of turkey. Oh, coleslaw.
Coleslaw.
I like seeing things that there's a
Out of the
ham loaf coated in caramel sauce.
what did Piper's family
Waldorf salad.
Waldorf wordsmith.
That's right.
Piper's family had
Eggnog pie.
some kind of shrimp something last year,
They did ask kind of shrimp.
and it sounded.
Cream cheese on jalapenos.
Oh, this
Mm-mm-mm.
is making me want some more eggnog.
I like green jello too. So somebody said green jello.
Green
I like
jello.
green jello.
You like that Watergate salad?
I like Watergate salad.
Now I could make you that, and
Bacon wrapped turkey.
that could satisfy.
I like Watergate salad, but I don't know if Mary Carl likes Watergate salad. Has she ever had it?
I don't know.
Oh, she's ever
Pistachio
had it.
pudding, marshmallows,
Pineapple.
pineapple.
I like pineapple.
I probably have everything except for
Green
the
bean
pudding.
casserole. I like green bean casserole.
But I will say this:
I'm getting hungry too, Donna.
I do not plan on going back to the store before Thanksgiving.
Let me tell you what your mama asked.
What?
Do you think it'd be safe to go?
I heard her. What do y'all think about going to Walmart grocery shopping on Friday?
She forgot it was Black Friday.
I said, Mama, I do not think that would be a very good idea.
I don't think that'd be a good idea at all.
However, if you would like to go to a grocery store, I think you'll be fine.
I think that would be a good idea.
But not Walmart. on
Not
Friday.
Walmart. I love
Okay.
Watergate salad too. I love Watergate salad.
But you don't like Waldorf salad, which is the apples and the mayonnaise and the
I don't
palm.
mind that one. I don't mind that one.
It's
That
not your
kinda-
favorite.
You know,
though.
it kind of reminds me of raisin and carrot salad.
You remember my mama when you used to eat at our house all the time? She
Uh-huh.
always made that
Waldorf.
Waldorf salad.
I
We
don't
had
mind
it
it.
a lot. and
Spaghetti. That's some. Mary Carl would love spaghetti for
She
Thanksgiving.
sure would.
She-
Before we go, let me tell y'all what we had for dinner tonight. So I knew it was going to be I had a feeling it was going to be a long day because anytime we have plans to do something, it turns into more than what
Bear
it should.
salad.
I already had the ingredients prepared to make this on a day when we could do something quick.
Mm-hmm.
So I made manicotti.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how you say that?
That's how I would say it, but that don't mean anything.
So I haven't made it in a long time simply because Mary Carl would say, ew, but I didn't tell her what was in it.
Yeah.
So I made the manicotti, and what it is it's a container of onion and chive sour cream, the container, not the block,
Uh-huh.
the onion and chive sour cream, 4 cups of mozzarella shredded cheese, and a box of manicotti noodles,
Mm-hmm.
and a container of marinara sauce. And all you do is you boil the manicotti noodles for like 8 minutes, and then you mix up the cheese and the cream cheese, mix it up together, and I put it in a Ziploc bag, and I cut the tip off the corner, and I squeeze it in like I'm using a pastry
Mm-hmm.
stuffer. And after those noodles are ready, you pack it into the noodles and pour the marinara on top and cook it for like 375. Cook it on 350 for about 25 minutes. And it's a really good quick meal that kids will love. And
She
it's
loved
easy.
it.
She loved it. She said, Mama,
loved it.
Mama, what's in this?
What is this?
Well, I didn't tell her cream cheese because she always says she didn't like cream cheese. But I just said cheese. It was just like spaghetti. It's cheese and noodles.
Yeah.
And marinara. So I gotta do something to go on the menu for the
On those quick
busy
meals.
nights.
One of those quick meals.
Yeah, it's really good. So y'all keep that in mind on those
Especially
nights
if you
that
got
you
kids.
need.
too.
Yeah, if you got kids or
Mhm.
even, it's so good, even reheated.
Yeah.
And if I'm planning on, like for us 3, we would only eat half the pan. So I would only put the marinara over half of it and cook it. And then when I reheat it, I would put the marinara on the other half that we didn't eat. And it's good.
It's good.
It's really good.
Really good.
Had a salad and some garlic bread and called it a meal.
And then came up here and did a live.
And did. And
Yeah.
just ready to go to bed.
I'm gonna go fix me up my coffee and start
Okay.
editing the video
Well,
for tomorrow. Moody's big surprise.
Moody's big surprise. So y'all stay tuned for tomorrow, and hopefully y'all all enjoy the video.
That's right. Guys, if we don't do another one before Thanksgiving, we hope you guys have an awesome and blessed and the best Thanksgiving
That's right.
ever.
That's right. From our house to yours.
That's right. Y'all be good.